Most homes today has electrical panels such as this here, with anywhere from a dozen to 2 dozen circuit breakers, depending on how complex the electrical system is in the home. From time to time, those circuit breakers burn out. This is Les Donovan at Do-It-Yourself Home Improvement Plus. Today we're going to show you how to change a circuit breaker. But before we get started changing the circuit breaker, we want to make sure that everything is absolutely safe. Before working on an electrical panel, you want to make sure the ground under your feet is perfectly dry. And preferably you wear rubber sole shoes. If you do touch a live wire in the circuit breaker panel, the results will be minimal. If your circuit breaker panel is in a damp basement, I recommend that you get a dry piece of wood and stand on the wood rather than standing on wet concrete. To begin, remove the screws that hold the front panel on the circuit breaker. We've already moved 4 of these. We have 2 left to go. So let's remove those and we'll expose the circuit breakers as they sit in the panel. When we remove the cover, we want to make sure we pull the cover straight off and don't let it drag down such as that there. Okay, that's a pretty standard circuit breaker panel. I just see there's a great deal of circuit breakers in it. Normally, when I change a circuit breaker, I turn off the power to the circuit breaker panel, which is the main switch right here. We're not going to do that. And the reason we're not going to do that is because my wife will get aggravated because I have to set all the clocks in the house. So, to remove the circuit breaker, the first thing you do is remove the power lead from the breaker itself. Okay, we're just using a common screwdriver, and we loosen the screw, and as we loosen the screw, we pull the wire out of the circuit breaker. Now the circuit breaker is fastened to the bus bar with 2 clips. To remove the circuit breaker, we just pull it off the clips. Sometimes they're quite difficult to get at. And we have the circuit breaker removed. That's all there is to it. Okay, we take a replacement circuit breaker, and either you can put the wire in before you press it in the slot, or you can put the wire in later. Okay, we're going to put the circuit breaker in first, make sure it's in the off position, and we take a wire. This is the hot wire, or it will become hot when we hook it up. We stick it under the mount screw, and we tighten the screw. We set the circuit breaker to on, and now we have a new replaced functional circuit breaker. If the circuit breaker was defective, it would click off and you'll see a little red flag. Once we get that done, I'll set the matter of reinstalling the panel. And again, put the panel directly over the screw slots rather than dragging it up and down. We screw all 6 screws, in this case, tight so the panel is completely secured to the circuit breaker box itself. Okay, we secure the remaining screws, take a look at it. If you have turned the main breaker off, which we did not turn ours off, now just reset the breaker and push it into the on position. That's all there is to changing the circuit breaker. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes. That's a whole lot better than calling an electrician who will charge you approximately $150 to come to your house, make a service call, and change the circuit breaker. Circuit breakers can be purchased at any electrical supply store for approximately $15, depending on whether it's a 15 amp or 20 amp or something larger than that. For more information on do-it-yourself home improvement projects, take a look at our website at Do It Yourself Home Improvement Plus.